All right, let's go. Good evening, Europe and Africa. Good morning, America. And I apologize for Asia and Pacific because it's bedtime. But we are recording the webinar, so for those who are staying up all night, just go to sleep. Tomorrow you will have it online. This is Xavier Rofes of the TDM Solutions team. As I always say, I'm the one that does pretty much nothing but smiling here at the office. And next to me, there are the smart ones, my colleagues Xavier Marudan and Mark Palacios, our two Clayoo specialists. Be welcome. So this webinar won't take much, planned to last for no longer than 30-40 minutes, and promise not to take your time more than that, especially in some Valentine's Day. I'm very, very sure you guys are all busy. So let me just move forward. Here's to the agenda. Very quickly, a little explanation of why we are launching Clayoo 2.5 these days and a quick overview of Clayoo, especially for those who are new to Clayoo. Just a very boring 5 minutes PowerPoint. Then Mr. Marudan will show you in live how to model in Clayoo, and depending on the time, he will design 2 or up to 3 models. It's an introduction webinar to see Clayoo 2.5, some improved, some new tools, not to learn it. We will have time in the future to offer this kind of webinars, more didactic. And remember, you can ask anytime, anything using the chat section. Both Mark and myself will be helping you out. And finally, 1 minute or 2 minutes about pricing and how to buy it. And for those who are existing Rhino 6 or Clayoo 2 users, we will explain how to actually download the latest Clayoo. So, why Clayoo and why now? This is the big question. Why we have waited that long, or why we launch it that soon? It depends on how we say it. Let me give you a quick explanation about the freeform modeling today. So for the last years, Rhino has had a great companion, which is T-splines. We all have used it, and we all love it, and it has been a great help for all of us. But as Rhino lovers as we are, we want to work always inside Rhinoceros interface, the one that we know, the one that we like. But the truth is that there's a big demand for freeform modeling, and out there are many other applications. Some great, some not, some expensive, others very affordable, others easy to use, others that difficult that you really need to spend so much money on training. I mean, there's so much offer for freeform modeling, and here you can see some of the big names in the industry, like C4D, like Maya, like Fusion, Silo, ZBrush. I mean, all of them are good, especially ZBrush. We love it. But what happens with all of them? Well, they all have pros and cons. We all know that. But for us, Rhino users, the main headache is that they are not inside Rhinoceros interface. And this is why T-splines was good. This is why we all use T-splines. But as you know, T-splines left Rhinoceros this year, and I guess that being some Valentine's Day, we could say that T-splines broke up with Rhino. And Rhino, it's it's quite single, and there's nothing to do now. If you want to freeform inside Rhinoceros 5 and the coming Rhinoceros 6, there's nothing for Rhino. So Rhino needs a solution, and for that, this is where Clayoo 2.5 fits. And honestly, not only to cover T-splines space, which is the sub-D technology, but also to offer other freeform modeling solutions, such as embossing and sculpting. These 3 different technologies inside Clayoo 2.5. Let me say just one thing, that the development of Clayoo 2.5 has been done partially in Barcelona, the TDM Solutions team, but also with the great help of our friends at GemVision in US. Now we both companies, we are working together to offer you the best freeform solution for Rhino. And let me say you that there is a nice team behind, not just 5 guys. No, there is 20, 25 guys working for Clayoo just to make Clayoo the most reliable software and so a bestseller for us. So right before Marrodan starts showing Clayoo 2.5 in live, just 5 important points. As you know, freeform means limitless possibilities. So the idea is when Rhino cannot get there, we do. When you get stuck in Rhino, Clayoo 2.5 shows up. Another important point, if you import any scan data, now there are these popular 3D scanners, well, you can import any data into Rhino, and then you can use Clayoo and its retopology tools to make it editable. Big thing. And this full compatibility thing, what does that mean? Well, we all have been using other freeform softwares in the past, especially T-splines. Well, here's the great thing about Clayoo 2.5. You can import any file from any other software into Rhino and convert it into a Clayoo object for keep editing, for modifying, for doing anything you want. Very important. You will not lose all your existing models or your hundreds or thousands of models. You can keep using them into Clayoo. And finally, the software must be reliable, and also it must have a good training content and good learning content and good technical support. Well, GenVision and TDM Solutions, we are proud to say, and that we are probably the companies that offers the best technical support in the industry. Free technical support, you can email us anytime, you can contact us anytime. Here's our email, info@tdmsolutions.com or support@tdmsolutions.com, and we will offer you free technical support. And about training, we are working on a platform inside tdmsolutions.com that you can see videos by command, full tutorials, and if my workmate Marrodan helps me in the other computer with a remote control, he could show you where to find the training materials. So as you can see, this is our website, and if we click on dashboard, this is going to be my account. As you can see, I have Rhino 5, Rhino 6, Clayoo, 2 Clayoos actually. Of course, I have paid all these softwares. So anyway, I go to my learning on the left side, and in here I can choose the software I want to learn, and in this case it's Clayoo 2. And in here we will find 2 sections that we are actually working to have another section for an online course. But right now there is a full tutorial which we can find 15 step-by-step video tutorials just to learn a little bit how to use the tools on real models, and then we have the videos by command. We understand that the Clayoo users, they all know Rhino, they all master Rhino, or at least a little bit. So just following these videos, people will really start using Clayoo professionally. So now it's time for my friend and my workmate, Xavier Marrodan. Remember that please, any question that you have, use the chat section. Is I guess on your right side, on your right panel. Just write as much as you want. Mark and myself will be answering you. Marrodan, it's on you now.
Okay, hi everyone. I hope it sounds good. Okay, so just to start, I'll open Rhinoceros. I have one in there. So first of all, this is the Rhino interface, okay, and this is the toolbar that will load in Clayoo. As Xavi said before, this is not a training webinar, okay, it's just informative. So I won't spend so much time explaining the tools, okay, just saying you what are the tools that I'm using, okay, and just focusing on modeling. So let's start. I'm going to start modeling a loft chair. So this is a really day where we can aim in loft and all these kind of models. So first of all, I'm going to start with a cylinder. So I'm going to readjust a little bit with the gimbals the size of my cylinder, something like that. And I'm going to create two different caps, okay, for my cylinder on the top and on the bottom. So now I'm gonna validate that. So right now I'm gonna use the shaded display mode, and to this point I'm gonna active hotkeys. Okay, so right now I'm gonna run all the commands with my keyboard. Okay, so right now, for example, I'm just changing the display mode. Maybe that's the most visual change that we can visualize right now, and from it I'll just model a little bit faster. Okay, so I'm gonna select those faces here on the bottom part. I'm gonna change the gumball to scale mode, and I'm gonna hold Alt a little bit just to make this kind of inception in here. So I'm gonna extrude that a little bit, and I'm gonna create another one to make it pretty bigger, something like this. Okay, I'm gonna move it down a little bit. Okay, something like that. And I will make again, okay, another extrusion, something like that. Perfect. So I'm gonna move it again. Okay, so there we are. I'm gonna go to the front view, and I'm gonna make sure that this is the part that I'm looking for. So just turning to shaded again. Okay, something like that. It's gonna be the result that I'm looking for. Maybe making a little bit bigger this way. Okay, there we go. This is the seat, okay, where we can sit on the chair. So right now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select again all the different faces that I have on the bottom part. Okay, and I'm gonna extrude that right there. Okay, there we are. Let me just refine that a little bit. Here we go. That's with extrusion. Let me scale that a little bit, and let me move it down there. Okay, there we are. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna select those faces in there to create where the back goes on my chair. So to do that, I'm gonna run the extrude command, and I'll change instead of the group mode of extrusion, I'll change to local normals, okay, to make sure that every face is moving on his local normal direction. And I'm going to increase the segments to 2. Okay, something like that. That's the result that I'm looking for. So after finishing the command, just click on OK. So right now I'm going to make this shape to look a little bit more like a heart. Okay, so I'm going to change to edge selection mode, and I will move that a little bit, something like that. I will make sure that those two edges in here goes a little bit like this, and maybe even more open, something like that. Okay, now let's smooth that and let's see how the result it is. So right now it doesn't look bad at all. Okay, for sure I can just readjust a little bit, okay, this shape in there, but the result it's quite what I was looking for. Maybe on this part in here I can make it a little bit thicker, something like that, but that's a good. Maybe what I'm gonna add in here is a division there, so when I subdivide that, this part is gonna be a little bit thicker. Okay, so that's the base of the chair. So right now we have to create the bottom part. Okay, so to create the bottom part, I'm gonna select all those faces in here, create a small extrusion. I'm gonna make a whole piece, so just a one piece, and at the end we'll see how to just split the object in 2 different pieces. So now I'm gonna make just the start of the feet of the chair, so something like that. I'm gonna make just some small ornaments in here, okay, just to make a pretty chair, okay, instead of an ugly one, something like that. It's gonna be really okay. Okay, so right now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the front view. I will select these faces that are the ones that we said that are for the bottom part, not part of the chair, and I'm gonna come here in the Edition tab and I'm gonna extract that. Okay, so I'm gonna extract. It said if I want to copy, and I said no. Okay, right now we have 2 different objects. Okay, so I'll make this bottom object. Okay, I'll make sure that this bottom object, I'm gonna rotate that just a little bit. I can rotate that. So I'm gonna active the rotation gumball, and I'm gonna double click to rotate that 22.5 degrees. Okay, something like that. That looks perfect. And now from the front view, I'll make sure that this is a little bit thicker, something like that, and I'm gonna create a new extrusion there. So at this point, I'll pick different faces in there, so those faces, and I will create extrusion for creating the legs of the chair. So now extruding again, okay, something like that, and I'll set just one segment. For sure I can just set 2 different segments, but one is totally okay. I'm gonna validate, and now I'm gonna move a little bit down the result that I have. Now I'm gonna just extrude again, so I'm gonna click on X again, and I'm gonna make sure that this is the size that I want. So validate, and now holding Alt and creating a small extrusion here on the bottom part. Let me just select the right faces. Okay, something like that. Okay, so when I smooth that, I have something like this. Maybe this part is too stretched. Okay, so just to make sure that this is a little bit better, just I'm gonna divide a little bit those legs in here. And now when I subdivide, I have improved a lot in the result in there. So this is the result of my Loft chair. If we want to say it in rendered mode, it's perfectly smooth. Maybe the legs are too big, but the result is where it counts. So something like that was the result that we were looking for. So a Loft chair for a day like today. So now we're going to complement the chair with a pillow. So first of all, I'm going to select both objects, and I'm going to create just a new layer for chair, for example. And I'm going to just change those to this layer and just hide that. So now let's create a pillow, okay, a Loft pillow. So to create the pillow, I'm going to start with a circle, a Rhino circle. So let me activate the grid snap from here to, let's say, to here. I'm going to just edit the points of this circle to just make an approachment of the heart shape, more or less something like that. It's going to be more than enough. So selecting the heart, I'm going to go to Creation tab to create from curve. Okay, now it's a tricky part, so I'll have to select the segments that I want to create this perfect shape. Now 14 are matching perfectly with my top point and bottom point. I'm going to readjust a little bit this part, and I will validate that. Okay, now I can just get rid of the curve, so select the curve and delete it. And what I'll do is I'm going to make sure that the top part it's closed. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a little bit small, this first intrusion in here. I'm going to just create a small extrusion there and scale it a little bit, something like that. It looks perfect. And I'm going to just fill that, okay, just to make a face in there. And maybe I'll add a division in this part in here just to make sure that the result is a little bit better. So right now I can just use the symmetry tool just to project on the other side this heart shape. So I'm going to select the heart, go to Edition tab and Symmetry, and I'll say that I want to set the symmetry plane by an edge loop. So selecting this edge loop and validating. Okay, there we go. Okay, so right now what I'm going to do is I'll try to make sure that this looks like a realistic pillow. So right now it is only a heart shape, a little bit smooth. Okay, so I'm going to use the sculpting tool just to make sure that this gets the details that I'm looking for. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off Clayoo and I'm going to turn on sculpting. So when I turn on sculpting, it appears this panel on the right, so I'm going to increase a lot the different faces that we have in here. I'm going to use different tools just to create the shape that I'm looking for. So first of all, I'm going to increase a little bit this part in here. As you can see now, I'm increasing to the outside. So if I want to make it to the inside part, I have to activate this option. And I'll also activate symmetry right now. It's going to help me a lot, okay, with some of the tools that I have to use. So now when I try to crease that, so it's going to just create a hole instead of the extrusion that we created before. So right now I'm going to create like the texture of the model. So I deactivate the crease and I'm going to reduce the radius a little bit, something like that. Okay, and I'm gonna create like a greased edge all over the pillow that I'm creating right now. I'm gonna make some bases because these are clothes, so are sort of imperfections and in his model. So something like that's gonna be really good. Maybe I'm gonna increase the radius a little bit just to make sure that I got enough details in there. Okay, it's not too bad. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to add some details, but before I'm going to make this part a little bit more grease. So I'm going to pinch that a little bit just to make sure that this is a little bit better, the result that I'm looking for. Okay, something like that looks good. So now I'm going to add some details just to all these clusters in there. So I'm going to reduce the radius. And I will adjust some details in this part. I'm going to increase intensity a little bit. Okay, let me check something like that. Okay, just to make sure that the imperfections that I'm creating are good enough for my model. Just don't panic when we see that the surface is not perfectly smooth. We have a tool. We're going to smooth that sculpting geometry at the end of modeling. Okay, so just don't be panicked about that. Okay, for sure I can just increase a little bit more the strength, but I just want to add some small details at all this part, okay? I don't want to just make a big deal about that. So now I'm going to smooth that a little bit, so just to make sure that the shape is getting a little bit more smooth than it was before. So just smoothing a lot the parts that are far from the coaster and not that much the ones that are closer. Okay, something like that. It's a real good result. Okay, if we see it from far, it's getting really good. And maybe what we can do is just I'm gonna activate the brush command. I'm gonna create a big radius and low intensity with the positive direction, just to make sure that it has some. Maybe I'm gonna deactivate symmetry right now, just to make sure it has some imperfections in here along the model, something like that. Maybe, yeah, something like this that makes like a pillow shape a little bit on the top and on the bottom part. Okay, just not to have all these just perfectly smooth pillow. Okay, so at the end, just smooth that a little bit. I always recommend to smooth all the time after we finish a few tools. Just smooth all the shape again, just to make sure that all became smooth after we finished our brushes. And there we go, more or less, starting with a really simple shape in Clayoo. We became with a really good heart pillow. So now we have only to validate. Okay, and here we have our pillow made with Clayoo and sculpting with a few details. For sure, if we spend more than 2 or 3 minutes just sculpting that, we're gonna get even better results. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is just create another layer for the pillow. Okay, I'm gonna move this object to the next to this layer. For sure I can sculpt that model again, so now it's a regular mesh, so I can sculpt that anytime I want. It's ready to print. So I'm gonna hide this layer. Let's go. I think that we are in time. So let's go for the final model. It's a little bit more focused on jewelry. It's just an organic ring. It's kind of easy, but it's a really a good looking ring. So we're gonna start with the ring tool. When we open the ring tool, we have different gumbals that we can just readjust to make sure that we are having the thickness and the width that we want on all the parts of the ring. So something like that. It's more or less what I'm looking for. So I'm gonna validate. For sure, here I have the region and the sizes of the different markets and the different regions, but I'm gonna use a standard one, a USA 7. So let's click on validate. Let's change it to shaded mode. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna start just bridging those faces in here. So I'm gonna activating here bridge, and I'm gonna make a hole, something like that. That's perfect. So let's click on OK. Right now I'm gonna use a tool to create a gem. That's not a Clayoo tool, it's a Rhinoceros tool, but it is our software tool. So the tool it's called Gem Studio. I'm going to create a gem, maybe 0.6 carat gem. So let's click on validate. I'm going to go to the front view, and maybe I'm going to move it just a little bit, something just right there. Okay, so I have the gem, I have the ring. I'm going to create kind of a setting for this gem. So I'm going to create a torus, something like that. Maybe a little bit smaller, just to make sure that it's matching with the gem. For sure, I can readjust it later, but something like that's going to be really, really good. Maybe a little bit thicker, something like that. I think it's going to be so good. So let's click on validate. Now let's take all the object. Let me activate hotkeys again just to more a little bit faster, and just move it to the top, just touching the gem so we can set it. So right now what I'm going to do is just I'm going to make sure that the torus and the shank are matching. So to do that, I'm going to just select the facing here and the face right there, and I'm going to create a bridge down there. So just bridging. For sure I can add more segments to create different shapes, or I can just a different mode instead of linear or tangential, but this looks so good right now in this case. So I'll use that one. So I'm going to do exactly the same on the other side, so something like that. Okay, right now we have a really good model. Maybe just I'm going to just hollow the ring at this part a little bit, so I'll have to make sure that I've selected the same number of faces on the inside part and on the outside part. So bridge again and validate, and the same on the other side, right there, and bridge again and validate. So right now I only have to readjust a little bit. Maybe I want to make those faces, so this part a little bit thicker. Okay, so I will move a little bit this part to the other one, just to make sure that the hole is not as big as this part. It's a little bit more thicker, just to make it easier for forecasting. So something like that. It's gonna be what I'm looking for. For sure I can add some more bridges in there, or add a few more details on all those parts. For sure it's a really easy to modify model, because that's the magic of Clayoo. But that's more or less how the model is going to look like. I hope that you like it in rendered mode. It's going to look like something like that, just a few holes with the gem and a really beautiful setting. So I think that this is it. I hope you like all the models that we've done, the ring, the pillow, and the chair. Again, thanks so much for attending, everyone, and I hope you end up with a really loving day.
Thank you, Marodan. Thank you. You did a good job, quite fast. As I said at the beginning, this is just to give some sort of intro to Clayoo 2.5. We wanted to combine it with some Valentine and make this kind of Loft 10 models. I disagree with Marudan. I don't like this ring, but this is just this is just my opinion. But let me tell you now, if Marudan, you can go back to the PowerPoint.
There you go.
There you go. So in here we will see some renders that Marudan has done with the models. And let me just tell you about I have seen the list of these 100 registers, and I know most of you. It means that you guys are already Clayoo or Rhinoceros 6 users. So that's a good thing for you guys. Clayoo 2.5 is free of charge. You just need to go to your TVM Solutions account, and on your dashboard software installer you can find the Clayoo 2.5 release candidate. All right. This is release candidate. What does that mean? It means that it is not the public version. It means that we believe the Clayoo 2.5 is stable enough to let users try it out, and we hope to hear your feedback, because as soon as you test it and you see some things that we should improve, then we are on time to do it, and we expect to have this public announcement by March, if everything goes fine. We also need to work on the translation. Clayoo is going to be translated to over 7 or 8 different languages. We are working on the training materials, not just those tutorials, not just those videos by command. Also, we will have an online course for everyone to learn Clayoo 2.5 properly. Also, GenVision Matrix developers, they will come out with a new version of Matrix at some point this year. Well, this version is going to be 8.5. Well, here's the good thing for Matrix users. Matrix will include Clayoo 2.5 as well. So we want that all the jewelry designers that are here can use Clayoo properly, either using Rhino 6 Pro or Matrix 8.5. And for those who are new and want to become our best friends, this is the pricing. This is Clayoo pricing. It's just $7.95 US dollars or euros. Today it's the euro dollar. It's almost 1 to 1. It's just $7.95. And if you need to buy also Rhino, it's going to be $1,700, $1,800. Just one thing. In here it says Rhino 5. Why? Because today Rhino 5 is the software that it is in the market. So what's going to happen when Rhino comes out with its new version? Planned to be at this year, probably end of year. Well, Clayoo 2.5 will be ready when Rhino 6 comes out. It will take us maybe a week after the Rhino 6 announcement, but hey, Clayoo 2.5 will be there. Again, if you are ready to buy, just go to tdmsolutions.com/store, and in there you can find our dealers. You can contact them. They are ready to sell you Clayoo 2.5, and we are ready to give you technical support and all the help you need, so you can very soon master Clayoo. I don't know if I'm missing anything. I'm gonna wait for you guys to have some answers. Some questions, and we will give you some answers. We will do this only in the chat section. We will unmute now, all of us, and wish you a very happy St. Valentine's Day. And it's actually to buy Clayoo for your girlfriend or boyfriend. It's such a nice idea. Guys, thank you for being here for us, and hope to see you very soon. We will be publishing new webinars when Clayoo is officially announced. Thank you, and have a great day. Bye-bye.